do it. All right. I make a motion to call the meeting to order. 7:02 p.m.
Yeah, I will. Once we do the pledge, I'll like jump
Second?
over.
Second.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't think we have to vote on it.
I think you got to do it. Someone has to do a second. Okay. Renee, can you lead us in the salute to the flag? Are you okay to do that? Yeah, just to, start it. You're a teacher.
I was.
You were. Ready?
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, you can
It's
just
funny.
move.
Anyone who sits in that seat, I call on. I'm like realizing it now because I did it.
Hot seat.
I do, like right over
side
there.
seat.
It is the hot seat. Okay. I make. Okay. I'm going to dedicate this meeting. This month's meeting is dedicated to Nathan Lavirtue, former town supervisor Wendy Burton, Assembly member Dee Dee Barrett, State Senator Michelle Hinchy, and County Legislator Chris Drago, whose tireless advocacy with the New York State Department of Transportation and other state agencies helped make the current paving of Route 82 possible. Yes, woo! The paving extends, for those of you, everyone should know, the paving extends from Salt Point north through the town of Stanford and beyond Cold Spring Road. This project is a testament, we think, and why we wanted to dedicate this meeting. It's a testament to what effective government can accomplish when local, county, and state leaders work together in a coordinated way. We're very much looking forward to seeing the finished product. However, one thing that we are very, very clear on is that with a smoother Route 82 also comes the need to continue our focus on traffic safety and traffic calming measures throughout the town. We're gonna talk about that through different parts of our work tonight. Judith McDonald. It's okay. As I turn my ringer off. There was a meeting on Friday that I attended with Dee Dee Barrett, where I told her that in addition to not only repaving Route 82, and I actually sat in on it with Michael. I always want to say Michael Churton, Michael Witten, the supervisor from the town of Clinton. They have been trying for years to lower the speed limit on Salt Point Turnpike. It's something that we've also, and to no avail, it's something we've also been talking about here in town. The DOT has asked us to wait for Route 82 to be paved so they can take measurements of the road and give us some recommendations on traffic calming measures, but it's become apparent, and Renee is here ostensibly to probably talk about this, it's become apparent that it's becoming an issue all over town. We are having issues putting together a neighborhood safety committee, not issues, but we have people that have different ideas for what can be done, but we don't have, I think, a group, and we've talked about this past meeting, a group of people that are representative of the needs of the community across the geographical areas. And so I keep putting it in my newsletter over and over and over again. But I think the reality is that in order to get some form of effectiveness, rather than just the town board asking the DOT to do measurements, is that we really get a coalition in town of community members together who can start tugging on the appropriate departments in New York, in the state, who can do it in the county, and who can start to survey the community so that we know where these hot spots are. We are aware of solutions that are out there, but we don't want it to be, we're gonna put it in place, because frankly, we don't know all the information, and all of us cannot, we've talked about this ad nauseum, we cannot dedicate the time, energy, and effort necessary to work this through with the community in a way that it deserves to be worked through. It's a community engagement effort, and everybody needs to be on board. And right now, we're not finding that. So I know I'm sort of digressing from the meeting dedication, but we are very well aware of coming with the repaving of Route 82, which we've been yelling about for a long time, is going to be the increase of speed through the town. And so we are making the plea again for people who are interested in becoming part of this effort to step up. And I'm going to continue to put it in my newsletter, because I will tell you, once September rolls around, people are going to be flying past on Route 82, and dogs are going to be hit, and we've seen it, where dogs on 82 have been hit and nothing happens. So we need something substantial. There are some measures that are actually happening in coordination with the highway department in the town. We're going to add speed limit signs to the flashers going through town, and we're also thinking about what the speed limit is, so that people know, rather than it flashing, they know what the speed limit is. So that is in the works. And some other things that are being discussed after Route 82 is paved, because I think what we can say is that folks in town are collectively nervous about what is going to happen. We've been asking for it, but we're kind of nervous about how fast people are going to go through town. Okay? All right. Rant over. Roll call.
Judy Dakota,
Here.
Charlie Cunningham,
Here.
Eric Ames,
Present.
Nathan LaVirtue absent, Teddy Secor.
Here.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Woo-hoo, Jim. All right, town board.
All in
sorry.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Town liaison board reports, town board liaison reports. Eric, can you get us started, because you're sitting to
Sure.
my left?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
The planning board met on July 29th. It was a very short meeting. There was one pre-application conference. It was for 88 Huns Lake Road, which is Bullis Hall. The owner came to the planning board. She's looking to convert the building into 2 one-bedroom apartments on the ground level and make the upper floor, second floor a personal residence and storage on the 3rd floor. The planning board told her that she could not do 3 dwellings because she has less than 5 acres. So they talked about some possible solutions, and the owner agreed that the best possible solution is to make the 2nd floor her personal residence, and on the ground floor make one probably 2-bedroom apartment instead of 2. This would limit the reuse of the building to 2 units. The planning board is not meeting in August. They don't meet. So the next planning board meeting will be on September 22nd. It's a different night of the week because Wednesday wasn't possible for some of the members. So it's actually a Tuesday night, which is
Tuesday? What day?
unusual. Tuesday, September 22nd is the next planning board meeting.
Okay,
And that's it.
thank you. Charlie?
I'll take it.
Thank you.
We got the Water Quality Committee update. They met on July 15th, 2026. The Water Quality Committee is working on their 2027 town budget requests. They're looking at sustaining its Cornell Cooperative Extension Consultant and their secretary. The committee clarified their role as educational and advocacy-based in their discussion, and they are really big on saying they have no direct regulatory authority over water contaminants. That authority rests with the planning board through land use. So they're really focused on education right now. It's like, let's get the word out about what we can do about water. And that is through, the Water Quality Committee is reorganizing into 2 project teams, a private sector team focused on safe drinking water, since nearly all drinking water sources in Stanford are privately owned, and a public sector team reviewing the municipal policy's impact on water resources. And they're also reviewing its founding resolution to formally add education to its mandate. And we'll be meeting with other boards, planning, zoning, CSC, CAC, and the highway department on how water quality and wastewater factor into their decision making. And this is an exciting one. This is kind of like hot off the press, is the Water Quality Committee is going to be hosting a public workshop in October. And it's called Stanford's Rural Well Workshop, Drinking Water Quality 101. And it's funded by a Green Pastures grant from the Berkshire Taconic Community Foundation and is developed with Cornell Cooperative Extension. It's going to be on October 8th, mark your calendars, from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. here at Town Hall, with experts from Dutchess County Planning, Dutchess County Health, the Carey Institute, and Delaware Engineering. And the goal is just to have, maybe 30 minutes of, presentation, but really big Q&A conversation. So talking about just what it is like to have a rural well and things to think about. So it's going to be an exciting event. I'm sure it'll be published around. And next meeting is Wednesday, August 19th, so that's next week, also here at Town Hall, if you so choose to come.
You said October.
8th, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m.
Right before the town
Right.
board meeting.
Yeah, that's perfect. 5:30?
Sounds like a hot night.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a hot night.
So with that, they also, so that's it for the Water Quality Committee. The Zoning Commission met on July 30th, 2026. And following June meetings with Nelson Pope Voorhees and Matthew D. Rudokoff Associates, the commission interviewed Nina Peak with EDR and Victoria Polidoro, who's a land use attorney, for the work to rewrite the town's zoning code. And they also emphasized wanting strong public engagement and to build on the work already completed over the previous 2 years. And the commission voted to recommend Brooke Brown be appointed to fill an open seat, bringing membership to 7 of 9 authorized seats. So that means 2 seats remain open, and the commission welcomes public interest in filling them as it takes on the zoning code update identified in the comprehensive plan. And so this is work that they are currently looking to work with a consultant on the next update to the zoning code. And the next zoning committee meeting is September 17th, 2026. So they're also not meeting in August. They will be here in September.
See you in September.
Yeah, right.
Great. Yeah.
So first off, Haunted Fortress, we are entering pretty much the home stretch for the upcoming season. So we will not be meeting in September or October. We will resume our meetings in November after cleanup has been done. We are going to be, we have been discussing our budget, which budget season for the rest of the town is upon us anyway. We are thinking about capital improvements and how our budget really can't sustain capital improvements, so we will be pressing, the committee will be pressing the town about possible solutions to some, but we are gathering several quotes for some work and seeing what that would look like, because there are things that need to be done that we can't reasonably handle with our budget. So capital improvements are just under discussion. Advertisements will be going out soon. We should be present at Community Day this year, so you'll see us there, but you should expect to see flyers, see us online, and see listen out for a radio spot in the future. ZBA, so that's the Haunted Fortress. So again, we will not be meeting in the next 2 months. ZBA met last night. There was a public hearing for 421 Conklin Hill Road. No one attended that. That was over. The setbacks variance was approved for a generator. So if you were a neighbor within 500 feet of that property, you would have been alerted and you would have been able to attend as a neighbor of that public hearing. There was going to be one other item of business, but there was a discrepancy between the planning department's judgment, what the ZBA needed, what they felt was incorrect information, and the submission from the person in question not having what is considered proper surveillance and measurements. So there was a three-way sort of discrepancy. So there was so far no public hearing for next month, and there was no setting of any public hearing for next month last night. So that was that. That's every second Wednesday of the month, so if you would like to attend that. And finally, the CSC, which is going to be meeting up this Monday. We had our meeting last month, and Brendan, thank God you are here to refresh my memory. I believe we had 6 or 7 or 8 new people altogether, including your partner who's right next to you. So, I mean, it was a room full of newbies. It was nice. So really, we did informational session, catching up, and we did talk about focusing in on some items And at our next meeting, I believe we're going to be discussing a little bit, probably the near future Community Day, if we're going to do anything for that, which I think we are. And future education, and again, like talking about the near future and what that's going to look like, and how to get everybody on board. Because now that we have all these new people, and we are going to be, yeah, we'll have new people. So that's that. Those are my reports.
Great, thank you. All right, I have Nathan's from Monday. Summer camp finished another wonderful season. The program was full, and we received very positive feedback from participating families. The rec department also submitted its grant application for a state EPF grant, and we are eager to learn the outcome. So thank you for everybody who submitted a letter of support. It was like letter of engagement. No? All right. Teddy mentioned the preparations for the Haunted Fortress. Community volunteers are always helpful. Is there still a volunteer event on the August 23rd? Yes.
And every Sunday in September from 10 to 3.
Well, there you go.
So yeah, forgot to mention that. If you're free, please, dear Lord, help us. I mean, we always need help. We're in decorating mode at this time.
Awesome. Okay. Cool. Next was the Fire Commissioners meeting on July 21st. I was there, and I'll cover this in my supervisor update, but I was there and shared a lot of EMS data with the fire commissioners and the fire company as we discussed EMS consolidation. We looked at where all of the historic calls over the first half through the end of June were across Stanford, and we talked about just sort of frequency and expectations around response times and things like that as we discuss with Empress for potential consolidation across the 4 towns. What the fire commissioners were positive and optimistic about a consolidation, especially when we looked at the costs from one year to the next, and we looked at the coverage that Empress is recommending in their proposal to us. What still has to be worked out is what our share of that that agreement would look like. There is a lump sum, and each of the 4 towns need to agree on our share. We also need to agree on where those units will be stationed across the 4 towns. We have not gotten that specific recommendation from Empress, and we also want to understand the county's level of participation as we explore this. There was a meeting in Hyde Park earlier in the month that was not particularly optimistic, that involved Assemblymember Dee Dee Barrett and Michelle Hinchy, and basically they said the state is not really going to be pursuing anything as it pertains to making EMS an essential service, even though the county has been talking about it for a very long time. So what that did was effectively put the problem back in the laps of the county to put together some form of plan across all the towns. Now, I've talked about this a couple of times, and it's been really interesting for me because I've learned how the refrigerator is built, and it's not particularly pretty. Every town does it differently. Every town has a different level of agreement with Empress or their other services that are maybe across the river. Poughkeepsie has engagement, and it's really because of the hospitals and where the locations are with the hospitals. We also have a new player in town called Northwell, which is getting involved because they have now a network of hospitals in the area. So the good news is that everyone is kind of aware of all of the options in the area. They're being discussed at length, and what we're trying to figure out based on the information that we have in front of us that's presented from the county as well as Empress is what is the best path forward in terms of efficiency, effectiveness in terms of service response times, and cost effectiveness. The cost is not going down, the cost keeps going up year over year as the cost of labor and insurance and equipment and all of those good things go up. So we are, I think, at the forefront of exploring consolidation across the county as it pertains to towns banding together and really looking. Bob Butts has been helping us look through the legal agreements and some sample contracts, but we feel good about pursuing this with the fire commissioners, understanding that we need to understand station locations and exactly what the share of the cost would look like. The fire commissioners will begin their budget process this month, because I was there in July. They had a slight backlog involving a truck repair because of limited local servicing options, but otherwise there were no significant equipment, communication, or radio concerns reported. The CAC discussed several projects and initiatives during its most recent meeting, including historic Route 82 oak tree, which is almost, I think, like a 200-year-old tree, and it's not looking good. So they are assessing the health of that tree. It sits, for anyone that's interested, right by the Grange. And they are looking to do some outreach with the Carey Institute and the broader community to explore options. But it's not looking particularly good for that tree in terms of the long-term health. There's some dead branches, and they've already done some significant cutting. Lovett Preserve had a nice macroinvertebrate event, which they discussed. We talked about that at the last meeting. The CAC is also reviewing a comprehensive management plan for the preserve. If you looked at my newsletter last week, you saw just some helpful sort of like just things to consider as we use the local preserves, inclusive of Lovett Preserve. So I put that in the newsletter, and they'll continue their outreach on education as it pertains to the local preserves. They discussed some riparian plantings with discussion with the DLC and the Dutchess County Soil and Water Conservation District. There are 2 events that are anticipated for next spring. Obviously, we'll let you know about those. There was some discussion about the Lovett Preserve kiosk and utilizing some leftover treated lumber that's at the Highway Department to repurpose and construct the informational kiosk at the preserve. So when we talk about Haunted Fortress, those are things that we can look at in terms of resources. There is also a trail camera that is pointed only towards it's not pointed. There's some trail cameras that if people are at Lovett Preserve, they might notice. It is a participation with the CAC and a group called Snapshot New York, a statewide wildlife monitoring program. The trail cameras are not pointed for people, they're pointed for wildlife. So if people ask, and if it comes up, they are not pointed at the trails to survey people. They are pointed in the other direction to survey the wildlife. Community Day is coming up, and the CAC is planning a bird-focused educational presence and continues to explore educational programs for the future, including a program on native plants. The CAC also discussed participating in the Water Quality Symposium on October 8th, and the dedication for Barry's Bench will most likely be September 27th with an October 4th rain date, and that would be at Lovett Preserve for the dedication of Barry Haydaz, for his bench that is going to be installed in his honor, a longtime CAC member. So September 27th, but once that's confirmed, we will put that in the newsletter. Okay. Supervisor's report. So let me just transition seamlessly. Okay. More paper. Okay. This past month, we also discussed dedicating the meeting to a longtime community member, Anna Danko, who was a deeply involved Stanford resident who passed away recently. We did mention that we would talk about her during the supervisor's report, so I just wanted to take a moment of silence to recognize after I finish. Anna was the first female president of the Stanford Lions Club, a past officer and a member of the Forever Young Club. She was also a recipient of Stanford's Distinguished Citizen Award. Her many years of service and commitment to our community will greatly be missed. So I just want to have a brief moment of silence for Anna Danko. Thank you. In my report, but we already discussed it, was Route 82 and neighborhood safety. I'm not going to beat that horse anymore, but I did make a note in here for my supervisor's report just to talk about the Neighborhood Safety Committee and the importance of forming that with representative members of the community. September 11th Memorial, I put this in my newsletter today, but planning is underway for Stanford's commemoration of the 25th anniversary of September 11th. I can't believe it is 25 years. The ceremony is scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. on Friday, September 11th. So please join us then as we continue to honor and remember those who lost their lives on that tragic day. A special thank you, as always, to Ed Zick, who is tireless in his preparation. He's going to put a ribbon at the bottom along the fence of Town Hall, which is why it's been reinforced, for every member on that tragic day who lost their lives. So over 2,000 ribbons are being put together by the Stanford Fire Company, and they will be hung at the foot, and I'm like getting emotional thinking about it, they will be hung at the foot of Town Hall in addition to all of the flags. So all of the names of everyone that was lost on that day will be down at the foot of Town Hall. Okay. More information will be released as we have additional details, and there will be something, there will definitely be in the newsletter for opportunities to volunteer for that. Community Day is September 19th, Saturday. We have a terrific day planned for Stanford. Activities will include a cherry pie making contest. How much more wholesome can we get? A pickleball tournament where I hope to be beaten by Charlotte and Eric Hames again. A talent show.
Maybe, we'll see.
A talent show, the first inaugural Stanford Talent Show. See Nicole Clanahan about that. A classic car show and much more. There will also be a free concert that evening with the Red Barn Band, backed by popular demand, from 6 to 8 p.m., along with free ice cream courtesy of Stewart's. Next month, we are going to be issuing a Purple Heart proclamation, but I just wanted to thank everyone who was responsive for the Purple Heart outreach that we did in the newsletter. We have identified one additional Purple Heart recipient in the town of Stanford, which brings our total up to 10. And so we're going to make a proclamation next month as we honor these veterans and their service and sacrifice. Tonight we have a wonderful budget resolution and a RFP plaque proposal acceptance, because our very own Rita Mary Bell applied for and received a $1 grant from the county so that we can make this very, very special, and more details will be shared next month. I don't want to take that thunder away. One ambulance and EMS update with just numbers in particular. During July, we had 40 total EMS calls with 16 transports. Of those calls, 25 were answered by our dedicated Stanford unit. What's interesting here is that Empress does not get reimbursed. They only get reimbursed if they transport. They don't get reimbursed if they don't get reimbursed for insurance if they treat in place. It is an ongoing discussion with Medicare, and that is a reason why our costs continue to go up, is because there's no reimbursement from Medicare for those calls. So when they transport, they do get reimbursement. When they don't, they don't. Our priority call response data continues to be closely reviewed. They are advocating, I should say they're advocating for that. They're making progress, but it hasn't happened yet. Our priority call response data continues to be closely reviewed. I get detailed reports every month, which I love because I love data. There were 10 priority 1 calls, including 4 with response times exceeding 10 minutes. Like I mentioned, Empress provides detail regarding those calls, and the response times were appropriate given their locations. P2 through P4 calls were also reviewed with response times remaining within the benchmarks. I feel personally good about the relationship that we have with Empress right now. It is a new partner of ours, but we have been able to develop a strong feedback loop between our fire company, ourselves at the town, and Empress, and they are making service improvements as a result of our feedback. So I think them as a partner, we feel good about them. And like I mentioned, we have also engaged in some substantive conversations with Empress regarding consolidation, and they have been quite responsive about that. I remain hopeful that we can accomplish both improving response times and quality of care while also reducing costs to taxpayers. Last one, I promise, is our financial update. As mentioned in the supervisor's newsletter 2 weeks ago and today, tonight we will be introducing a resolution related to local law number 3, I believe it will be for this year, which would allow the town to override the property tax cap if necessary as part of the 2027 budget process. It's important to emphasize that taking this procedural step does not mean that the town intends to exceed the tax cap. We're doing this out of an abundance of caution because of the timing of our budget process and the November 3rd election. We already know that several significant expenses are projected to increase next year. Healthcare premiums, while not set, are expected to go up 11.6% for those that are insured. Transfer station costs are estimated to go up approximately 30%. We are exploring the costs associated with facilitating our own service of solid waste transport. Those are not insignificant costs, but we are exploring them. In the meantime, those costs at the transfer station are estimated to go up about 30% next year. The ambulance costs without consolidation are also slated to go up approximately 13%, and fuel costs, which are already increasing. Our goal remains to control costs wherever possible while maintaining the essential services our residents expect, and we will continue looking carefully at every opportunity to reduce expenses and maximize revenues before the preliminary budget is presented. But for 2026, the town finances remain on track within budget estimates. The rec department, building department, and the town court are exceeding revenue expectations, which should provide us with additional flexibility as we prepare next year's budget. I greatly appreciate the partnership of our town employees, department heads, and community members as we navigate the uncertainty surrounding the 2027 budget. Everyone is holding hands, and I feel grateful for that. I'm now deeply engaged in preparing the 2027 budget, and budget request materials were distributed to our department heads this past week. Our planned budget workshop schedule, which has been shared with the town board, are September 24th, September 29th, and October 5th. We're currently planning to hold the public hearing on the budget after the water symposium on October 8th, if everything remains on track. In the event that it doesn't, we will be setting another public hearing, most likely at the end of October, to pass that budget. Okay. I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Oh, it's already done, sorry.
Did that.
Sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry.
Privilege of the floor.
Cut that out of the film.
Edit.
Privilege of the floor. Steve,
Do I sit or do I stand?
you stand, please, so Pete can,
So I am
Have your
here
hand.
to.
Yeah, name and address
Oh,
first.
Steve Bruman, 3 Millis Lane and 97 Huns Lake Road. So I'm here to make you aware and ask for assistance with the county DPW about the Millis Lane Bridge. It's happening. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but maybe in 2027, I don't know. So that bridge is 100 years old and it needs to be changed. So my reason for coming here is because we would like you on board about the historic nature of the rebuild of that bridge, and of course what we've been talking about ad nauseum, the traffic situation. There's a two-pronged approach of why I'm here. So also, we've had the privilege and the sympathy of the DPW because when those bridges at Huns Lake Road and Salt Point Turnpike, they rented space in Bangalore, so we know them. The guy grew up here, the head engineer.
yeah.
So he knows it. He knows exactly how we feel, but it needs to be more than a few neighborhood people in Bengal. The town needs to know about it, and the town needs to help, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It's a county?
It's a county project.
Yeah.
It's a county road. It's a county DPW project.
Okay.
Whereas Route 82 is a state
Mm-hmm.
repaving. So again, I just want to repeat the mission. Our goal is to preserve the Bengal Hamlet, look.
Mm-hmm.
Adding a super modern bridge with 35 feet guardrails almost enhances and entices traffic speed. It will look slick.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot have that.
Yeah, there's already issues with people crashing into
So on
buildings.
top of that, many of the properties in Bengal are pre-turn of the century historic. So there's a lot of scoop there that gives us power. This week we wrote to Chris Drago
Mm-hmm.
with the correspondence that we've had with DPW, and also Kathy Spears, who's completely on board and understands this thing completely, has also reached out in detail with various law ideas and things we could finagle to Chris Drago as well. We have not heard back.
Mm-hmm.
So Kathy has a plan, an idea about some of the laws that she has learned about how far any new construction of a bridge can be close to a designated historic place.
Mhm.
And the Bangor Post Office is a designated, by the New York State and federal designated historical places. Nothing's landmarked in Stanfordville, nothing's landmarked in Bangor. We're not there.
Mhm.
So that's an angle that we're gonna go after, so,
Mhm.
but we haven't heard back. She's also talking to the Dutchess County historical people, et cetera, et cetera. So, I just wanted you to be aware of it. It's gonna take more work than Tom and I and Charlie Shaw and the people there. There are 4 properties involved. My house, Bangor Works, Charlie Shaw, and the Yellow House. These 35-foot guardrails supposedly have to go before the bridge. That will mean almost to the end of our driveway in
Mhm.
our front yard.
Mm.
Charlie Shaw and Robert, the guy in the Yellow House, those guardrails will go into their yard. There's nowhere for them to go. So it's not just our personal property. We are really, concerned that we need to do something to keep the Bangor hamlet,
Mhm.
historical. Not like the bridge on Huns Lake Road, not like the bridge on Salt Point Turnpike. In addition to enticing speed when they see those 35-foot guardrails
Yeah.
that look like, oh, that's a safety net. Last thing. So, there were 2 accidents this past year. One was a semi-truck climbing that hill, turning left from Mills Lane, turning left onto Huns Lake Road, not knowing where he's going, trying to take a left. A Welsh truck, garbage truck, comes speeding down, towards our building, hit the truck, and, demolished the front plastic cab. Everybody was all right. That's number 1. Number 2, a few weeks ago, there was an accident from a speeder going down Huns Lake Road in light rain, speeding, turned around and flew into Bullis Hall.
Yeah.
I also heard today from Sam Holden that there was an accident on 82, that a car ran into the Stanford Plaza sign. Did anybody hear about that? It
That
like
was,
3
that was last week.
Last week at 3:30 in the morning.
On Sunday at 7:30 in
It
the
was,
morning.
yeah,
Yeah,
early.
so
super
I
early
hadn't heard
morning.
about that, I'm just bringing it up. So twofold, historic character, speed.
Yeah, no, yeah. Can you just copy me on whatever follow-up you have, just so I have visibility into it and I can help?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Thank you.
And yes, please, yes.
Ann Liebling, Quarter Horse Way, Veterans Liaison. I just wanted to remind everybody about the mobile outreach event a week from today, 1 to 4 at the library. Even if you're not a veteran, you can come and have cookies. But the first one was really successful. It was in the spring, and Beth Ann Canero, who's from the VA, was busy from 1 to 4 the whole time. And what's really, I learned so much because I get a survivor's benefit. And I learned to get property tax, benefits and other things, like if I need help in the future, home care or whatever, they increase the benefit. So these are things that people probably don't know about. And it's really, I learned so much. And I just wanted to spread it to everybody. So let your friends know, anybody who's a veteran's family,
What time is it, Ann?
1 to 4.
1 p.m.
And yeah, I mean, just if you know anybody who's a veteran, there's benefits that they may not be aware of.
Thank you. You've been amazing at ensuring that the community knows that these are happening and setting them up. Thank you. Anyone else? Sorry, I didn't mean to sigh. All right, I will make a motion to close the privilege of the floor.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Can I make a motion to accept the supervisor's report? I don't think so, can
No.
I?
I
Okay.
make a motion to accept the supervisor's report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I also make a motion to accept the town clerk's report.
I'll second.
Aye. All in favor?
Aye.
We're gonna do this, we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
I make a motion to accept the building inspector's report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Terrific. I make a motion, we had a highway boiler issue, and we put out an RFP for replacement of the boiler. We received 2 responses back, one from Fox Air for $34,000, and then 2 from Botini, one for one singular boiler, and then the second proposal for a backup, more efficient boiler system. Oh, sorry, Jane? A pair, exactly, 2 of them. So sort of a two-prong approach. It basically results in better fuel efficiency and better efficiency over the long term of the units. The one unit is $12,000. The 2 unit with better fuel efficiency was $19,000. We discussed it as a town board. We discussed that fuel prices continue to go up. We discussed that we are not in a position as a town yet to explore alternative energy options that would help us reduce our costs of fuel long-term. And we discussed the fact that we do have adequate funds in the Capital Reserve Fund for the building to undertake the two-prong, more efficient approach for the highway department. This would also help them in the event of redundancy in having sort of an extra unit should one fail. We were lucky that our boiler failed in May and not in December. So we're going to I make a motion to accept Botini Fuels estimate for boiler replacement for the 2-unit system that would result in greater fuel efficiency for a price of, do you have the exact read, $19,000?
$19,400.
$19,400.
Second.
Who is that? I'm sorry.
Me, Eric.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Bronze. The next is for some Purple Heart bronze plaques that I mentioned earlier in the supervisor's report. Rita put a RFP out for bronze plaque development or production. We received, can I have that?
Yes.
Can I take it? Thank you.
I think it was 4.
Sorry, I didn't print this. We received 4 responses back from ABC Corporate Awards in Hopewell Junction, Timely Signs in Kingston, Franklin Bronze Plaques in Franklin, PA, and Superior Signs in Hopewell Junction. We make a motion. We would like to choose Superior Signs in Hopewell Junction at a cost of $3,866. Keep in mind that we have a $6,000 grant from the county, so this is fully reimbursable. $3,866 for Purple Heart bronze plaques with an installation of $350, so a total of $4,000. You're gonna have to make me do math. $4,216. I make a motion to approve that estimate from Superior Signs.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Did you want to show those pictures?
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, they look good.
I'm gonna put those in the newsletter, Rita. It'll be front and center. So these will be unveiled
November 11th.
November 11th,
Veterans Day.
Veterans Day, and these are gonna be plaques. We found a big old rock. I'll put this in the newsletter. We found a big rock, and we're gonna put it at the Bengal Veterans Memorial, and there will be an official unveiling of the bronze plaque. Thank you, Rita Mary, for your beautiful tribute to this community on November 11th.
And then there's a smaller one that will go on the side of Town Hall here. Somewhere. Here we go.
There we go. Okay. We're trying to save on ink here.
Yes.
So this one will go. So please join us on November 11th. And thank you, Rita Mary, for all of your hard work.
You're welcome. And thank you, Anne. She was a big help, too.
Thank you, Ann Lebo. Did we all accept that?
You did.
Great.
We did.
All right. Next on the agenda is I'm going to make a motion to approve the vacant seat for the Board of Assessment Review and make a motion to put Jennifer Kipp on the Board of Assessment Review.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I will make a motion to accept the zoning commission recommendation to appoint Brooke Brown. Excited to bring her on board.
Seconds.
All in favor?
Aye. Budget modification for the general fund for the Purple Heart Grant. You want to read it? You got it? Thank you.
Resolution 8A, budget modification of the general fund. So this, like Julia said, is the budget modification for the plaques that we just talked about. Whereas the town board of the town of Stanford adopted the 2026 annual budget on October 22nd, 2025, and whereas the town clerk of the town of Stanford applied for a Purple Heart grant for $6,000 for signage/decorations in early 2026, but was not certain they would receive the grant award, and whereas the town clerk was awarded the grant for $6,000 in 2026, and whereas pursuant to New York State Town Law subsection 106 and applicable provisions of the New York State Comptroller's regulations, the town board is authorized to amend the adopted budget by resolution, and whereas such budget amendments do not increase the total appropriations of the adopted budget beyond available revenues and fund balances, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Stanford hereby authorizes the following budget amendments to the 2026 budget, which adds grant money, takes grant money in and adds it to celebrations contractual.
Thank you, Teddy.
Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Julia Dakota?
Yes.
Charlie Cunningham?
Yes.
Eric Ames?
Yes.
Nathan absent, and Teddy Secor?
Yes.
This one, because it says Julia down here, do I read it the same way?
No. No, you would read it, Councilmember Charlie Cunningham.
Correct. All right, so we've got Resolution 8B of 2026 is Fire Prevention Week. So whereas Stanford Fire Company Number 1 is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting the town of Stanford. And whereas fire remains a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally, and the presence of lithium-ion batteries in many household devices, I see many of them here, introduces fire risks, and whereas most of the rechargeable electronics used in homes daily, including smartphones, tablets, laptops, power tools, e-bikes, e-scooters, and toys, are powered by lithium-ion batteries, which if misused, damaged, or improperly charged, can overheat, start a fire, or explode. And whereas the National Fire Protection Association, NFPA registered trademark, reports an increase in battery-related fires, underscoring the need for public education on the safe use of lithium-ion batteries and devices. And whereas the way lithium-ion battery devices are charged can make a difference in helping prevent home fires, and whereas safe charging includes using the cord and charger that came with your device, or one approved by the manufacturer, charging on a hard, flat surface, watching for warning signs like devices that are very hot or start to swell, unplugging them when fully charged, and charging larger devices like e-bikes outside and away from exits. And whereas residents are encouraged to understand that safe charging means making smart choices every time they plug in. And whereas the Stanford Fire Company first responders remain dedicated to reducing the occurrence of fires through prevention, safety education, and community outreach. And whereas the 2026 Fire Prevention Week theme, Charge into Fire Safety, Safe Charging is a Superpower, serves to remind all residents that safe charging can help reduce the risk of fires in homes and communities. Now, therefore, I, Town Councilman Charlie Cunningham, and the Stanford Town Board do hereby proclaim October 4th through 10th, 2026 as Fire Prevention Week throughout the town of Stanford, and urge all residents to learn about and practice safe charging habits. And it's also the week of that meeting, actually.
Oh, my
It's
gosh.
a big week in town.
Libras.
But no jokes aside, literally right now, charging things, especially if you're charging outdoors during the heat, or you have something in a garage, where they mentioned power tools, things like that, definitely something to think about and keep an eye on, making sure you're using the actual charger that came with the item that you purchased. So I make a motion to,
Oh, I'll second.
yeah.
Second the resolution.
Julia Dakota?
Yes.
Charlie Cunningham?
Yes.
Eric Ames?
Yes.
Nathan is absent, Teddy Secor?
Yes.
Okay. Resolution number 8C of 2026. It's the resolution to introduce the proposed local law number 3 for the year 2026, overriding the tax levy limit established in General Municipal Law 3C. Bob, do you want to explain this one briefly?
Sure. The state law imposes a tax cap on budget increases. I believe it's 2%. And but it can be overridden by 60% of the board, which should be a vote of 3 people on the board. And so this is intended just to enable the town to be able to do this if it turns out to be necessary, although you don't intend to utilize it. This is not subject to seeker review, and we've done this on at least one occasion in the past.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to read the whole thing. I'm going to keep out the, I'm going to read the whole thing. At the meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Stanford held at the Town of Stanford Town Hall on the 13th of August 2026, Town Supervisor Julia Dakota called the meeting to order, seconded by Councilperson Eric Hames. Move the following resolutions. Whereas General Municipal Law 3C establishes a limit upon the amount of real property taxes that may be levied by local governments in New York State, and whereas General Municipal Law 3C authorizes the town board to override the tax levy limit by adopting a local law approved by at least 60% of the voting power of the town board, and whereas the town board recognizes that adoption of such a local law does not require the town to exceed the tax levy limit, but preserves the board's authority to do so should it become necessary during the preparation and adoption of the 2027 town budget, and whereas the town board finds it to be in the best interests of the residents of the town of Stanford to preserve this budgeting flexibility while continuing to strive for fiscal responsibility, and whereas Town Supervisor Julia Dakota advised the town board that pursuant to the municipal home rule law of the state of New York, it was necessary to hold a public hearing upon this proposed local law, and whereas overriding the tax levy limit established in General Municipal Law 3C constitute routine or continuing agency administration and management under Section 617.5 of the Seeker Regulations of 6 NYCRR Part 617, now therefore be it resolved that the following proposed local law is hereby introduced to be known as Proposed Local Law Number 3 of 2026, entitled a local law overriding the tax levy limit established in General Municipal Law 3C, to read as follows. I'm not going to read all of the legislative intent, authority, tax levy limit, override, severability, precedents, effective date. This will be on the town website. But I will let everybody know that the public hearing will be held in relation to the proposed local law as set forth in the form of notice herein after provided, at which hearing parties in interest of citizens shall have an opportunity to be heard, to be held at Town Hall on September 10th, 2026 at 7 o'clock, and that notice of said meeting shall be published in the official newspaper of general circulation in the town of Stanford by the town clerk at least 5 days before such hearing, and that notice shall be in the following form. I will avoid reading that because it's redundant. The public hearing will be on September 10th, 2026. Take further notice that all persons interested and citizens shall have an opportunity to be heard on said proposal at the time and place aforesaid, and that copies of the aforesaid proposed local law will be available for examination at the Town of Stanford Town Hall during normal business hours on all business days between the date of this notice and the date of the public hearing, as well as on the website.
Julia Dakota?
Yes.
Shirley Cunningham?
Yes.
Eric Hames?
Yes.
Nathan absent, and Teddy Secord?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm going to do this budget modification,
Sure.
8D.
Resolution 8D, budget modification. Whereas the town of Stanford has expenditures for the adopted 2026 general fund budget lines that will exceed the amount of funds available in these certain budget lines, and whereas the general fund has funds available in other lines and needs to transfer such funds to provide for expenditures, now therefore be resolved that the town of Stanford Town Board hereby amends and transfers from and to budget lines listed below for fiscal year 2026. Account number ending in 40, description, rec supplies and services, an increase of $150. ending in account 40, public safety contractual expense, increase of $175.38. Account ending in 40, traffic control contractual expense, a decrease of $175.38. Account ending in 40, playground contractual expense, a should be a decrease.
Yeah, sorry.
In the amount of
decreases.
150. Therefore, the total increases of $325.38 equals the total decrease of $325.38.
Thank you. All right, I will do,
Second, please?
oh, second.
I'll second with the correction.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Teddy.
With the minus.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Julia Dakota,
Yes,
Charlie Cunningham,
Yes.
Eric Ames.
Yes.
Nathan Bridge, absent.
this one's
Lacy.
correct.
Yes.
Charlie or Teddy can read that, or you can read it.
Sure.
All right, Resolution 8E, Budget Modification. Whereas the town of Stanford has expenditures for the adopted 2026 Highway Fund budget lines that will exceed the amount of funds available in these certain budget lines. And whereas the Highway Fund has funds available in other lines and needs to transfer such funds to provide for expenditures. Now therefore be it resolved, the Town of Stanford Town Board hereby amends and transfers from and to budget lines listed below for fiscal year 2026. Account number 41, general description, general repairs, gas, hot and cold, an increase of $403.14. Account number 10, salaries, bridges, increase $10,419.56. And account number 43, calcium, it's a decrease $403.14. Account number 10, general repairs, salaries, it's a decrease of $10,419.56. So that is a increase of $10,822.70 and a decrease of $10,822.70, therefore equaling each other.
Thank you, Charlie.
Second,
Second.
Give it Teddy.
you're almost tied there.
I know, right?
Julia Dakota,
Yes.
Charlie Cunningham.
Yes.
Eric Ames.
Yes.
Nathan Bridge, absent. Teddy Seager.
Yes.
All right, last is the Resolution 8G, a budget modification for the celebrations
What
line.
about the
What about the
campaign?
rec campaign?
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
where's that one?
8F.
8F. Did I printed that?
I think the numbers on our lines are, on our
Yeah,
titles
there's a
are
few
off.
changes.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I don't have 8F
Here.
printed, but thank you.
All right, thank you. Just need it back when you're done.
I'll do it. 8F is to authorize the recreation campaign to pay for the EPF grant application, whereas the town of Stanford created capital project H40 Rec Campaign Committee for future capital improvements, and whereas the town of Stanford pays invoices utilizing funds raised by the Stanford Rec Campaign on the expenses they incur, and whereas the town of Stanford has arranged for a grant application to be submitted at the end of July 2026 for the New York State EPF grant, which was already done, and whereas the town wishes to pay the invoice from Saratoga Associates for their services from Capital Project H40 Rec Campaign Committee, now therefore be it resolved, supervisors authorized to pay all invoices for Capital Project H40 Rec Campaign Committee, and be it further resolved, the supervisors authorized to use funds from H40 Rec Campaign Committee Capital Project to pay $5,835.75 to Saratoga Associates for the grant application writing services. This is to modify the Cap Project 40 budget as follows. Budget line 40-599, appropriate fund balance of $5,835.75. And appropriations 40-960 for the same amount, $5,835.75, which will be credited to playground equipment, account ending in 067020, sorry, 40-06-7020-40 for $5,835.75.
Second.
Thank you.
Julia Dakota.
Yes.
Charlie Cunningham.
Yes.
Eric Ames.
Yes.
Nathan absent. Teddy Seager.
Yes.
Okay, and now, HE, budget modifications for the celebrations line. I think we've talked about this quite a bit. We have a wonderful Rev 250 that is going to extend into Community Day. I believe we have fireworks planned again. And if anyone was at the July 4th fireworks, they were spectacular. I had to miss it. I was super bummed, but I got photos and videos.
They were.
So this is a budget modification for the celebrations line. Whereas the town board of the town of Stanford adopted the 2026 annual budget on October 22nd, 2025, and whereas the town board has determined that certain budgetary adjustments are necessary to properly reflect unanticipated expenditures and/or revenues and to ensure the continued efficient operation of town services, and whereas the Rev 250 committee has requested an increase for expenses related to America's 250th anniversary, and whereas pursuant to New York State Town Law 106, and applicable provisions of the New York State Comptroller's Regulations, the town board is authorized to amend the adopted budget by resolution, and whereas such budget amendments do not increase the total appropriations of the adopted budget beyond available revenues and fund balances. Now, therefore, be it reserved that the town board of the town of Stanford hereby authorizes the expense of, sorry, I have to change this, I didn't change it in that line there, so I'll change it, $2,532.02 for celebrations with the voucher to appear on the August abstract, and the following budget amendments to the 2026 budget: appropriate fund balance ending in 599, $2,532 to the celebrations line ending in account 00-06-7550-40 for $2,532.02.
Second as corrected and the resolved.
Julia Dakota,
Yes.
Charlie Cunningham,
Yes.
Eric Ames,
Yes.
Nathan absent, Betty Secor.
Yes.
Okay. Wendy, just been so patiently waiting.
I almost got a very privileged look.
Yeah.
First, Rita, I would like to present this to you. It's a book that New York Association of Towns just published called The Foundations of Freedom, and this is an
Oh.
anthology celebrating New York's roles in shaping America of the past.
Well, thank you, but now it's the second one I have.
Oh,
You could have just said that.
I'll bring one to the library.
There you go.
great.
Thank you, but thank you anyway.
Well, it made me think that maybe we should talk with Kathy Spears, who has the Stanford Historical Society has a huge library that we have bought historical books. You know, we've spent our funds, but it seems like we're the only ones who have access to those books, really. And so I thought if we could get a locked cabinet for your office, and if Kathy
Or the hallway.
right, and so people could sign them out. They'd have it. That's why I
I'm
think
gonna become a lending library too.
Yes, well, the society would
There are
have
worse
to approve
things.
it, but I can't imagine why we wouldn't. And then I think there'd just be more access for.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm here just to give a little context to the next motion for local high school students to have a non-voting advisory position on the town board. Most of you, well, some of you know, you all know, that I've been a member of the executive committee of the New York Association of Towns for about 5 years. I'm very honored to have been asked to join that. It's basically the board of directors for NIAT, and that organization, New York Association of Towns, is a fantastic trade organization that advocates for over 900 towns in New York State. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I've never done this before. So we advocate for the towns in New York State, and our primary focus is on home rule. So within the executive committee board, we have different committees, and I'm the chair of the workforce development committee. And if you look at our board, it's a very young board. Especially Teddy. But I mean that in the best
Just
of all
calling it
possible
out.
ways.
Oh, yeah.
Just say thank you.
Yeah.
You won't say thank you later.
But if you go around and look at the other offices in our town hall and all over New York State, we're an aging population. Rita, no offense. So, I mean, we are, honey, we're aging out. You know, look at, I don't have to name people. Anyway,
Right.
so one thing we're trying to do is engage younger people in town government. It's a bit of a difficult task because we can't compete salary-wise with the private sector, and we really can't compete in a really meaningful retirement package, especially with Tier 6 being what it is. So we've taken some measures that are mostly educational measures. We've worked with several of the SUNY colleges to set up micro-credential programs that people either already in government or just anybody can participate in and get courses in accounting. My favorite one is there's a grant writing credential program. That one is through SUNY Oneonta. And we've also established a scholarship fund so we can help with the costs of some of those micro-credential programs are a little bit expensive, but we can defray those costs. So after we started working with the colleges, I thought we really need to go to a lower level of education, which would clearly be the high schools. And what's his name? John Schoonmaker?
John Schoonmaker.
Schoonmaker.
Yeah.
He teaches, is it involvement?
Economics and history and...
It's an involvement in local government,
Yeah.
politics. Anyway, and two of his students already, Teddy and Trevor from Pine Plains, have gone on from that class and actually been elected to public office. So what I have suggested that we do, and that Stanford, in partnership with the Pine Plains Central School District, is start a program where we get a high school student to be a non-voting member of a town board, bring student issues, the concerns of their peers to the board, and just actually participate and hopefully get engaged in the whole process of town government. And I also think there could be a mentor component where somebody on the board, or I would be happy to do it, just introduces that person personally to all the different jobs within the town. They can sit with Steve Godovich and get fascinated about what an assessor does, and so that's my hope. And I was thrilled because Julia was just so gung-ho excited when I talked to her about it, hence the motion. And I'm meeting, I think I'm on the agenda of the school board on Tuesday. So I'd like to bring the motion with me. And I'm pretty positive they're on board too. And then which is why the language in I asked Julia to tweak the language in the motion, because although it would be lovely if the student happened to be from Stanfordville, they may not be from, the most promising student might be from Pine Plains. And it's a pilot that encompasses the school district. So I think you'll hear the latest, if you already haven't, language. But anyway, so that's the story of why this is being put forward. And that's, I think, all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so I make a motion to, I got some language in here.
Foul language?
No, never. I don't think I
Not around children.
All right, here we go. A motion to establish a student advisory position to the town board. I make a motion that the town board of the town of Stanford establish a non-voting student advisory member position to provide a local youth perspective on matters before the town board and encourage civic engagement among young residents. Thank you, Wendy. The student advisory member shall be a current high school student and resident of the Pine Plains Central School District, serve in a non-voting advisory capacity, and shall not be considered a member of the town board for purposes of establishing a quorum or exercising any statutory authority of the board. They will be invited to attend town board meetings and participate in discussions at the discretion of the town supervisor and the town board. They will serve for a one-year term with an opportunity for reappointment while the student remains eligible, and they will be appointed by a majority vote of the town board. The student advisory member will provide input on issues affecting Stanford's youth and community, and gain firsthand experience with municipal government and public service. Priority will be given to residents of Stanford, but will ultimately be up to the discretion of the Pine Plains Central School District's selection process. We mentioned that because we're redesigning and relaunching our website, that this person could also have a hand, because they're young, ostensibly, in keeping the website updated.
Hopefully if they're a high school student.
Yeah, right, we would hope that they're adept at technology. And yeah, we're excited, and potentially grant writing opportunities, things like that. So I make a motion to establish a student advisory position to the town board.
Second.
Woo!
Same.
It's Ted and-
Oh, yeah, the young one. No offense, Rita Marie.
I'll be picked on all night.
Younglings.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the minutes from July 9th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I make a motion to approve the abstract number 8 for August, general fund $87,855.82. Highway fund $171,983.85. Bengal lights $1,043.55. Escrow, planning board escrow $428.75, and ambulance $64,062.50.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No other business, so I will make a motion to open the privilege of the floor. Wendy.
Hunts Lake Road, I forgot to tell you guys something.
What's your number on Hunts Lake Road?
Do I have to disclose?
Yes.
648. 628.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Close to Charlie's.
Oh.
We have, NIAT has lobbyists who work for us in Albany. And they came to the retreat we were on last weekend, and they were talking about how both the House and the Senate passed a law that would have removed EMS costs from the cap, and the governor,
you mentioned
she vetoed it.
Yeah.
So I asked, not that they could, had a crystal ball, but what would move the governor to reconsider? Like, will it be brought up again in both houses, and will it be presented to the governor again? And they said, it won't be an election year. So that's
Too
kind
bad
of
we
where
don't
it all
have
came down. So hopefully, it won't solve the EMS cost, but it will at
Conundrum.
least get it out of the budget.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all.
Thank you, former
Thank
Supervisor
you.
Burton.
Thank you.
You're welcome, current supervisor.
Yes, Sandra. Yeah, yeah, please.
I'm Sandra Bilski, 4 Aberdeen Lane in the town of Stanford. And I'm just going to follow up on the safety of the fire that you were speaking to. And I just wanted to relay a piece of information that we got at the Forever Young Club that you all may know about, so just say if I'm repeating something.
No, I don't know this.
A
Please.
representative came from, I believe it was from the American Red Cross, to our meeting last month, and they said that, in fact, the Red Cross was giving out free new fire alarms, where that they were suggesting that they be in every bedroom of your home and over the doorway if there's room for it above the doorway. They would put them in your house. They were not going to give them to you to put them,
Oh.
but they would come to your home and they would install them. And they were to last for a period of time of, I believe it was 10 years.
That's it.
So I don't know if you were aware of it, so I just thought I would
No, thank you.
relay that.
Okay, wait, what was it that they're going to put for you?
They were fire
Smoke
alarms.
detectors, fire alarms.
Smoke
Yeah.
detector.
That's the
Oh.
American Red Cross, right?
Pardon me?
The American
Yep.
Red Cross.
Well, that's what they had said.
Yeah.
Are they only specific to seniors?
I didn't get that feeling. No, I don't believe they said that. I
Oh,
think they were
interesting.
just- I really don't know why it was at our meeting, but maybe perhaps the person was a member of our club and hadn't been to meetings before and was sharing it with us.
Thank you.
But I got the feeling it was for anybody that felt they had the need and wanted somebody to come in their home and put it, because they weren't going to hand them to you.
Smart, okay. All right.
Yeah, it's better have them installed than sit in a pile in your basement.
Agreed. That's for sure.
Yeah. Especially in a lot of these older homes in these communities.
Yeah, I see it here. Okay, I'm gonna put that in my next newsletter.
I think you should, yeah.
I should. All right, and with that, I make a motion
Thank
to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
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 All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Caramba.
you.
Good meeting.
Thank you.